Hey Pusnet, I wanted to do a quick medical video. It's not as Polish as I would like to, but I feel bad because it's been a while I didn't do a medical one. So I thought I would do one on my trauma kit. And so this is so far what I gather for traumas and stuff. Obviously probably will shrink in size and everything, but I wanted to talk about 3 items that a lot of people I never really saw talk about in other YouTubes and stuff, and so I thought it would be an interesting thing to buy, especially with Christmas coming. If you didn't make your list to Santa, then maybe those 3 items could make the list. So the first one is this. So everybody will think, oh, it's a SAM splint. Actually, it's the same people that do the SAM splint, but it's a different one. It's a little bit more expensive. And the SAM splint, you have to make your own connection to it. This one as well, but I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's already curvature in it. And actually, if you pass your hand, you can kind of feel it. And this, actually, yeah, like this, you'll be able to see. See over here, there's some, and over here, there's another one. So this SAM splint, and I'll put the link down, is more for healthcare professional. So people like family practice and everything have that in their clinic. The reason for this versus the SAM splint is, first of all, it's more comfortable, so for long-term use. SAM splint is more for first aid. You put that on, you bring them to the hospital, and they do their stuff. This can be used for long-term use, so that's what it's built in mind, and this is why I bought this one. So why this versus a cast then? Well, a problem with a cast is that, again, material. So you do your cast, that's it. So that means that you just use some material and you can reuse. That you can reuse. The other thing too is that once your cast is made, if your arm start to swollen, or you had like a little injury under and you're taking wound care and stuff, well, you lose the possibility to assess that. With this, you're able to, because you unwrap it, you assess your wound care and stuff, do your business, and rewrap it. If it gets too tight, you just unwrap it a little bit more and rewrap it and stuff without keeping on this. So I keep showing on my forearms because this is what it is for. It's called a slab. So when we do a cast, there's either a cast or a half slab, and so that's kind of and it's for 2. Like I was saying, you can use both sides for 2 different type of it, and there'll be a video under with the links of those things. So that's the first one. It's a bit more expensive, but that's why I thought I would put it in my kit, because it has multiple kind of use. The second one I wanted to talk again with fracture. This is just part of it, but basically what it is that instead of casts, and again because of limited of equipment that you have, and this is I heard in a conference when I went to wilderness medicine conference, is external fixation. So why external fixation versus any other device out there? First of all is that so for example, let's say you broke your leg very badly and the bone came out of the skin and stuff. Well, the problem with the cast is that you'll put that on, but again, the wound is in there and it's hard to manage and everything. And if your leg is pretty shattered and everything, to bring it back in alignment sometimes could be difficult. With this, you could work on it. It's relatively inexpensive, because when I bought them, if you look on eBay, it depends, it's a hit and miss, but if I find a link, I'll be able to put it. Is that the sometimes those companies, for example, they'll upgrade their model, and so when they go to the next model, and this is what happened with this one, it was like $40. So it's lightweight, very portable, easy to use, not so much complicated, and it's good for long bones. And then you also able to manage your skin around and the wound and everything. So basically what you do is you have a tool that does, as you can see, I think on writing on here, there's some different, right here, yeah, so there's different writing. So sometimes you'll drill inside 2 pins, and then you attach your grill. You can also improvise those things, but buying one's a little better. The other advantage of those things is because it's medical grade is that you can sterilize it. So if you have a sterilizer, which I recommend, so like if you have like a slow cooker, not a slow cooker but a pressure cooker, that means you can sterilize equipment, and so that means you can sterilize the pin, so that means you can reuse it. So again, another advantage. And the third item is this thing. And so I'll do a more on-depth video on this one because I think it's worth it. Not many people talk, but I think it has its place in a kit. So basically what it is, it's a syringe driver. So what it does is that you put a syringe here with whatever medication or equipment and stuff that you, whatever you want to administer. And this part over here is kind of mechanic, and by the numbers that you put over here, it slowly push the plunger down, and so administer medication smaller. So as you can see, it's a very small device, very portable, works on a 9-volt battery, and it's mostly mechanical. There's some pumps that are very fancy and things like that, like syringe driver. They're very finicky and stuff, but this one is mostly mechanical, so there's less chance of it to break, or probably, you know, somebody could probably open those things and repair it very easily because there's not much electronic into it. So this one, then it comes in two models. There's the 24 hours, so it's for mostly longer period of time, and the 16 hours, and I got this one. So it becomes very useful for pediatric. We use those ones a lot for administering medications and stuff. Why do I use it in trauma? And I'll put the research down that it shows that. There's some studies have shown is that when you do pain control, if you administer sterile water at the site of pain, you could decrease the pain reception. So basically what happens is that when you have like your pain sensors and your nerve, if you administer sterile water around, and not when I say neural water, it's not saline, it's sterile water, like water, H2O with nothing in it. So for example, a good example of this would be the water that you have in those survival bags. So that would be one that you could use, or you could make your own, as well as by boiling water, taking the steam and reconnecting it. If you have a pressure cooker, again, you can sterile your water by collecting it and doing that. So by injecting this, you could decrease the pain. So for example, if I have a fracture and I have no opioids of any sort, morphine or anything like this, I only have Tylenol and stuff, maybe the injection of sterile water at the site of the fracture where the pain is mostly major, that could help. And by having this, will slowly, so I don't have to always rush because I'm doing gathering, because now I have one of my member down, and so we have to do more gathering and all that stuff and everything. That means that this pump, and again, you can hold it on this person, so even if you have to travel, it could administer it. So so I thought it would be a good tool. And again, there's like two styles, and I may even buy the other one as well for other purpose. But this is a 24 hours, well, longer period. It's just administered a smaller amount on the 24 hours, and the other one administered more amount on the, I think it's 16 hours. But yeah, so syringe driver. So I wanted to do a quick video because it's been a while. Again, it's not as detailed as I wanted to do and stuff, but I'll be able to, as I progress in my kit, I'll talk a little bit more how to use those items and stuff, and I'll probably do, when I get the 16, I'll probably do a video just on that. Because it can be used for feeding, administer medication, and all that kind of stuff. So I have to experiment a little bit more because it's a little bit outside is normal use, but I think it has a point to it. And again, it'll have links below for those things, and I'll talk to you soon.